So Broadway is closed to traffic. No streets between 2nd Street and I think Olympic. So lucky for us, we have the whole street to ourselves. This stretch of Broadway doesn't really have a whole lot to offer except for ample parking and a hodgepodge of little spaces for lease. This building's kind of special to me. This is the $1 Million Theater, and I remember coming to downtown LA when I was a teenager and seeing a banner at the top of that building that said, "If you lived here, you'd be home right now." So we got Grand Central Market closed. It's about 10 o'clock at night. So easy argument can be made to close this part of Broadway, at least this block. I don't know about closing all of Broadway, quite frankly. I don't think it's necessary, but this would be a good start because all of this retail right here, let me tell you, any restaurant that pops up in this general vicinity has tremendous opportunity. The amount of people that Grand Central Market draws. So it's Friday night. We have a little bit of glowing prosperity with this bustling cluster of drinking establishments. So yeah, all the streets are blocked off and there is no traffic to be found anywhere, just the delightful patter from upstairs. So the street's closed, but the workers, like, this is their street still, so they're probably not going to be looking out for my best interest. And over here we have the Mega Slide. I live really close to here, so let me tell you, this building opening up was quite nice because they actually have kind of a nice sidewalk here with some trees and stuff. So we got the bike store, the AT&T store. Look at that, there's cars. Should probably get on the sidewalk. Planet Fitness, this whole area, they got everyone out of here. There has been a modest improvement and the overall degeneracy on the streets. And normally I wouldn't even point my camera around here, but they have gotten everyone off the streets. What's going on? There's nobody really parked up in the usual spots. So there's the old Walgreens, and that's the old Rite Aid. When they turned this building into residential, they removed the lease of the Rite Aid, which was here, which had moved from just a block over to over here, where it had a drug controversy. They dispensed a lot of opiates out of this Rite Aid. But what stinks is the Walgreens shut down, and if the Rite Aid had closed before Walgreens, I'm sure that would have survived. That was very sad when both those stores closed, for sure. And recently the neighbor Mescalero has also shut down. That was kind of a beacon of hope in this general vicinity, because at night there's historically not really been much open ever. But in the 80s, these would have been active movie theaters. You can see where they painted on the R. The R looked really bad, and then they fixed it at the last minute. So I would bet some people looking at this video actually remember going to movies here. And right now these serve as kind of low-end little retail kiosks. And we still have some old school legacy bridal. So it's a shame that there's not enough demand for these places to be like live venues. Everything here kind of seems to just sort of limp by.
Mesela kaç gün var? Benim ülke burada çıkmak için Hey, shout out Bowling. Shout out Bowling, West Side LA, 213 area. Epic Park, West Side, Park.
And the rest, I quite often see shoplifters at this Ross and that Burlington. Not so much recently, but it kind of was a thing for a minute. So we got some stores for lease. This building used to be an arcade. And it's all, let me see. Let me show you. It's a shame that they didn't like plan for it because there's actually glass behind there, but of course they boarded up to stop people from constantly shattering the glass, which they love to do around here. So it's a shame that we can't see in there because it is very beautiful. Just waiting for someone to lease it. And I think this theater is looking for someone. It sucks because these are amazing venues. So at 8th Street, we got this little retail cluster that's sort of flagship by the Apple Store. So they have managed to keep this lovely outdoor wall section with the windows. And here we have the old Hamburgers department store, a gigantic building which was blasted clean and then abandoned. So when we get to 9th Street, we have the wonderful sounds of generators and traffic again. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I mean, obviously something's being filmed, so maybe the schedules conflict. So I guess we'll be directed around this. I'll close that off probably. There's a stage here. So I'm hoping that this event is a rousing success and people sort of start to chill out on the negative rhetoric of the area. It's kind of a downward spiral, self-fulfilling prophecy at some point. This whole area was pretty much scrubbed and gentrified, so of course they want name brands, but really this neighborhood is nothing without the mom and pops. Broadway has a long history of not really being active after dark. Once the theaters went away, there wasn't a whole lot of reason to be on this stretch of Broadway at night unless you were transferring buses or seeking out illicit activities. I could go on and on about all of the different items that have been here throughout the years. All you got to do is look at Google Street View and go back in time. It's a lot of fun. And it's a rough neighborhood, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not too out of the ordinary of reasonable expectation of safety. And not too long ago, there used to be a Carl's Jr. right there. It was a terrible Carl's Jr. and it was combined with a KFC. KFC is gone and Carl's Jr. is resurrected across the street. So these are the brand new bike lanes. Not the greatest bike lane in the world, but then again, not the worst either. And God willing, Clifton's will open up permanently and properly. I actually thought the bar upstairs and the one way upstairs, the Tiki Room, were pretty amazing. So hopefully we will see the permanent reopening of this classy establishment. And I mean it too. That was one of my favorite places when it opened. And I think reviews were quite critical because there were some good things, some amazing things, but it just didn't quite pencil out, obviously. It's sad. It's not just an LA thing, it's across the country. There's just this precipitous decline of physical establishments. And it's a shame because with all of this open space, there is such a wealth of opportunity in such a diverse and amazing city. A city with a lot of infrastructure and a lot of resources. Fortunately, these theaters do kind of turn a profit on occasion. They do specific events, and some of them are quite successful. There's nothing greater than seeing people dressed up nice along the sidewalk, waiting to get into a beautiful historic venue. This is kind of the roughest edge of the jewelry district. Alright, so that's it for tonight. It's pretty dead around here. It's been dead on the weekends for a while. It's a little concerning. So it'll be nice to see if anyone shows up tomorrow. I get a vibe it's kind of cheesy, but I don't want to jinx it. This neighborhood has been quite plagued with corrupt politicians misusing our money. So I'm pretty sure the Dragon Swing and the boxing ring were money well spent, and I congratulate our elected officials